I've worked for Dartmoor National Park for just over 3.5 years now. Probably variety, and in my current job I managed to get out into places like this. I get involved in some really important sort of access work, providing access opportunities for all sorts of people, and I think that managing to have a job where you're working in a really positive team as well, and also the variety of getting out into lovely places on Dartmoor itself, as well as variety in the role, is fantastic. A bit of a dream really, I think, for anybody who likes conservation work and landscape scale conservation and helping people with access and learning about nature, then working in national parks is a fantastic career choice. I live in South Devon and work on Dartmoor, so it couldn't be a better combination really. Quite a bit of my job is responding to questions and queries, whether that's from members of the public or other members of staff. But I think probably the most exciting, fulfilling part of my job is providing access to wonderful places for people who don't perhaps have the mobility advantages that perhaps you and I have, for example. So there's people who come to Dartmoor who like to come to places like this, who might not be able to walk very easily. So for people in wheelchairs or mobility scooters and trampers, part of my job is to provide access, easy use access like this, or slightly more challenging access for people like a bit more of a challenge. Miles without styles. So you can see there's miles of tracks there, there's not a style in sight. It's great for young families to have access that's easy. It's great for people who don't perhaps like climbing over really high stiles, and people who find walking difficult, so people with mobility scooters, that sort of thing. Providing access for people and make it easy for people to enjoy the park. I think working for Dartmoor National Park gives me a sense of achievement, so I'm quite sort of proud of some of the work we do here. The work here, for example, last year won a national award, the Gordon Miller Award, so I'm very proud of that. That's quite an achievement to win a national award for the national park. I also find that the ethos in the park is great. I think it's generally called Team Dartmoor. So that whole range of people willing to help each other is great, and so the whole Team Dartmoor ethic or ethos running through the park is a really excellent example, I think. It's quite seasonal actually, because some of the work we do is improvements, and that's physical works like you can see here, new surfaces and so on. We try and do that in the drier months, because when we try and get up onto the moor in the winter, it's quite muddy, it's quite wet, and if we're not careful we could do some damage to the environment. We have a thing where we don't like to disturb wildlife, particularly ground nesting birds, from March to the end of July, so we try and do less of the vegetation cutting and disturbing work at that time of year. Working in environmental protection and landscape protection, wildlife conservation, I think working for a national park is a great opportunity and a really interesting career and future.